and I'm here to talk to you about phase planning. Now, a lot of the superintendents that I've spoke to over the last 6+ months, over the dozen or so projects that I've worked on, have pretty much conveyed that this whole concept and process of phase planning has not been like really truly easy to understand and implement. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I think it really is and how to implement it in a much more efficient way. So what phase planning is, it's a matter of planning that is based upon establishing a milestone, identifying the activities and the trade partners involved in reaching that milestone, and then implementing this plan in a backwards planning fashion. Now, that backwards planning fashion, that process is counter to what is normally done in corporate America, and in construction, usually we do forward planning. And so sometimes it sounds counterintuitive, or people don't have a really truly a good understanding of it. But the difference between backwards planning and forwards planning, one of the biggest ones, is it allows us to identify problems early and often. Most of the time when we do forwards planning, we run right into a problem and then we have to deal with it then. In commercial construction, it creates delays unnecessarily, costs money, and then requires kind of like a jump through your rear end type of approach, like let's figure this out and everything else. Whereas a backwards planning approach allows us to identify problems early and often and get ahead of that problem. And then we can focus on identifying a problem weeks in advance and coming up with solutions. Now, some of the other things that phase planning is very, very effective at doing, provided that you approach it in the correct way, is it allows us to identify the scope of work. It allows us to identify the flow of work. And that flow of work means by sequence and focusing on the duration of the activity. And probably the most important thing that allows us to do, if done well, is allows us to establish the tone of the project and how we approach this project collectively as a team, so that we understand that we're there together, so that we can collaborate and that we can focus on solutions and develop ways to deal with common issues and problems that we see in commercial construction, but in a much more efficient and effective way. So stay tuned, and I'm going to share tips and tricks that I've learned over the last 6 months with you in the next couple weeks.